first enormous velocity.
Higher.
Thank you.
Knowledge for an advanced burrow.
That's a smart thing.
Contact is established. We now transmit you direct.
Item 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
Hello. All right. So, welcome to our podcast, Item 9.
Hello.
This is Kim.
And Hira.
So, this week's episode is going to be a history lesson from me about the hat pin peril of the early 1900s.
Happens.
Yeah, so you might ask, what is a hat pin? A hat pin is a decorative and functional pin for holding a hat to your head, usually secured by your hair.
So like a hair clip.
Yeah.
So that's like our modern hat pin thing, like
Kind of like, I mean, it's what the 1900s bobby pin, I guess. So we'll get into it, but it's pretty much the women during the time period were wearing these really big hats that wouldn't stay on their head, and they also didn't want to wear like the ribbon under their neck anymore.
the ribbon.
Yeah, you know how like they would have like a bonnet with a ribbon that they would tie under their head.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't want to wear those anymore either. So they started to secure hats to their head with a long pin, pretty much.
That sounds a little dangerous, but hey.
Well, that's the thing. They did become dangerous for aggressive men.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Okay, so we'll start off with a brief history of the hat pin.
History me up, girl.
All right, so in the 1800s,
I'm sorry about my drink.
the making of decorative pins would employ an entire family due to them being time-consuming to make. They would only be made in small batches. So back in the day, people would have to go to like small businesses or families that made them by hand to get like cute ones.
Also maybe Etsy?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I thought of when I was reading this. I was like, oh, so there's probably people on Etsy right now that make hat pins.
Hey, listen. If I could get a guy to not touch my ass by stabbing with a pin, that does not sound illegal, actually, because in California, there are a lot of laws that don't let women carry, like, certain lengths. Maybe that's a loophole?
You know what? It might not be, because you know how, like, some of these old laws, I didn't even look into that, but you know how some of these old laws that don't make sense now just never were lifted, and I feel like these would probably be some of the ones that would still sit
Oh, shit.
in that category. But it is what it is. So, around the 1820s, Queen Victoria began to tax her subjects at the beginning of each year. And this is due to Parliament passing an act restricting the sale of hat pins to 2 days, January 1st and 2nd, out of the year.
So you can only buy hat pins January 1st and 2nd?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so it's wild how, like, there's always these laws that are, like, not directly like anchored towards women, but they're anchored towards women because it's like men aren't using hat pins. But their reasoning at this time was because the pins, they thought they would offset the trade balance because most of the pins at this time were being imported from France.
Oh.
And so they didn't want, I guess, French economy to go up solely on the sale of the hat pins to Europe.
Hey, there are a lot of women. They be forgetting about us.
It is what it is. Women would pretty much save up all year so that they can ball out on hat pins on the 1st and the 2nd. So I don't think them restricting it to 2 days did much. It just made pretty much like a Black Friday.
Black Friday.
On January 1st and 2nd.
Hold on. Sorry, I have phlegm. Wait, but no, I just thought about it. Like, they really knew about us because if they restricted it to 1 or 2 days, they knew there were a lot of us. It's like, why not, instead of saying, listen, you can only buy hat pins on the 1st and the 2nd. What about, like, ladies, gentlemen, if you guys want to make money, make some hat pins.
You know what? That makes more sense, but that's not the plan that they went with.
It sounds like the plan we're still not going with right now.
So, in 1832, the hat pin making machine was patented in the U.S., producing pins with long tapered points, pushing out handmade ones completely, since now they can
Just shoot 'em out.
Yeah. Over the next 2 years, England and France also began producing machine-made pins. So in 1900, large hats and hat pins continued to grow in popularity. Popular music hall actresses wore large, elaborate hats that needed pins to hold them in place, or else they wasn't gonna stay.
Oh, wow.
And so, since now these big actresses are wearing these big hats, now all the women want to wear the big hats because it's a trend now.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you a little story.
Oh, story time.
So, on May 28th, in an afternoon, a woman named Leotie Blaker,
Leotie.
who was a young Kansan touring New York City, boarded a Fifth Avenue stagecoach at 23rd Street. The coach was crowded. Leotie noticed that when the coach bumped, the man sitting next to her was scooting closer to her.
No way. Fucking pervos, man.
So when it bumped again, this man scooted
Scooted
all the way
forward.
over. And now they're touching shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip at this point. He don't scooted all the way over.
I wonder if she could smell him.
I mean, if they're sitting touching at this point, then yeah, she can. So at this point, she's like, what the heck's going on? She looks at him. He's an older guy. He's dressed nicely. So he wasn't like what the usual guy that's out there groping women looks like, I guess, to her.
He looks like probably like a man that wouldn't need to grope a woman. Maybe if he was just a gentleman and talked to her like a regular human being, he might have had a chance, perhaps.
I don't know, but that's not the route he took.
Oh, shit.
This dude decides he wants to put his arm around her shoulder at this point. And then on some articles it said that he put his arm like low around her shoulders, and then someone just said around her shoulders. So I don't know if he like just whipped his arm around her like he knew her or whatever, but
That's crazy because around this time, it's around like, it's one of those times where it's not open for men and women to be like touching each other out in the open.
Yeah.
So like, what's he trying to make her look like?
Well, the issue is during this time, women have also started, going out into the world by themselves. And for some reason, instead of men being like, oh, okay, whatever, there's women walking around alone, they want to be weirdos.
Fuck me, man. Let us just walk around, you guys.
I don't know. So what ends up happening is she's over it, and she reaches up to her hat, pulls the pin out, which is almost a foot in size, and stabs him in the arm.
Oh my god.
And then he yells and then gets off at the next stop.
Oh my god. I'm the victim. You guys help this woman. Just unprovokedly stabbed me with her hat pin.
I don't know. At the time, newspapers started to report similar encounters with men who they called mashers. And so mashers were pretty much these predatory men who were out there touching women or saying rude things to them out on the street.
So these are the men that need to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Unless they were talking shit. Okay, whatever. You're talking shit, whatever. But if you touch me, you won't get pinned.
Well, the thing is, in the 1900s, it's completely inappropriate to say inappropriate things to women. Now, men do it all the time and they catcall.
Yeah.
And everyone just ignores it. But back then, it was like a problem. So they lumped all of that into the same category. Yep. So here are some examples of some of the news stories that ran at the time.
Oh, exciting.
So we have one was a New York City housewife fended off a man who brushed up against her in a crowded Columbus Avenue streetcar and asked if he might see her home. I don't know, see her home was in quotation marks, and that just felt
wrong.
creepy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
It's like, can I come over to your house and see your cat?
Exactly. Like, I don't know what the heck his
Oh
problem.
my god.
Another one was a Chicago showgirl, which in quotation it says, bothered by the mashers' insulting questions, beat him in the face with her umbrella.
Hey, there
he
we go,
left.
girl. Get him. Get him.
Yeah. The fact that he was getting beaten in the face and he wasn't leaving says a lot. The fact that she had to just keep beating him until he finally gave up is wild.
It's just crazy. Like, it's like, if you're bold enough to be talking this shit, don't get mad when we come up to you and punch you in the face or in the throat. Like, just cut that shit out.
Well,
like,
that's the issue here. For some reason, they were getting mad. Yeah.
It's just so upsetting. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then another example is a St. Louis school teacher drove her would-be attacker away by just flat out slashing his face with her hat pin.
Hey, you know what? Better
gotta
safe
do what
than
you gotta
sorry.
do.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we have all these freaking, like, nowadays we have all these reports where it's like, listen, if the cops would have listened to me sooner, this bitch wouldn't be dead. She's taking care of that problem fast. It's like, you know what? Not gonna let this escalate. Just
Yeah.
right in the face.
Yeah.
Toodles.
That's pretty much what the women of the time started to do. So these stories were notable during the time because, one, they were happening a lot. Their frequency. It was almost every day they got a report
No
of
way.
some dude
Oh, I
coming up and trying to fondle or say something rude or follow some woman home to the point where she had to defend herself.
I can't. Wow.
But also the tone in which that these articles were being run was different from the time, because usually they would kind of depict women as objects rather than the subject, and now with these things happening and women fighting off mashers, they're treating them as the subject. So like, this is a person that this happened to.
Yeah.
I don't know. The issue was that society was slowly beginning to realize that women no longer needed to depend on a man and that they could defend themselves.
Oh, so that was the problem, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know, can't be out here defending yourself.
Oh, shit, just go on. Go ahead. I'm gonna be in the buzz. Just fondle my breast. Go ahead. I guess. Go for it.
It was in 1808. An English judge insults some suffragettes.
Some suffragettes?
Yeah, suffragettes. You know,
Oh, like
women
from
who-
suffrage?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Women who fought for, women's rights. back in the day.
Suffragettes.
Yeah,
Hey, I
that's
like
what they
that
call 'em.
name.
Yeah, it's cute.
That is cute. I need to make a little jacket with suffragette in there.
Man. So he insults them by asking them to remove their hats and their pins in court because he feared that they could be used as weapons in court. Yeah.
Well,
But the thing is, it's rude.
Point.
During this time period, it's rude to ask a lady to remove her hat.
No, yeah, that's true. It's like asking a woman to show her ankles.
And so now, with the women defending themselves, men not liking it, the newspapers have started to run different stories.
Really?
They have started to run tales of innocent people who
Being
have fallen
attacked.
victim to the hat
Oh
pin.
my god.
So
Listen.
here are some examples.
Oh my god.
So you can hear.
Thank you. Hold on. I need to take a drink for this one. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh my god.
We have a 19-year-old Scranton girl playfully thrust her hat pin at her boyfriend, accidentally fatally piercing his heart.
God damn. Why would you accidentally do that,
I don't know. They
though?
was playing around. It didn't work out.
Maybe it was some kiki shit. He's like, listen, bitch. This is what I like.
I don't see that being something that they were into in the 1900s, but
You'd
who
be
knows?
surprised.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
The question is, when did these things start happening?
the 1900s.
No, not
Or-
that. Like, when did
oh.
people start liking this kind of shit?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good
Exactly.
question.
There you go.
Without murder.
Well, I'm sure it's like those people who like to be choked. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like they didn't have those people back in the day because when people choked you back in the 1900s, you died.
hey, some people are into some weird ass shit.
I can only see people being murdered. All right, the next headline, we have a young New York streetcar passenger felt a sharp pain behind his ear. Kind of find out it was from an accidental prick from someone's hat pin. I don't know how long this girl's hat pin was that was sitting behind him, but she pretty much accidentally stabbed him behind the ear, and then he ended up falling into a coma a week later
my
and then
God.
dying. I don't know what she hit. And then we have in Chicago. This one made me laugh. This one made me laugh, even though, it's unfortunate. But then it's nobody really got hurt, but it was still funny. So, in a Chicago suburb, a woman and her husband's mistress
Oh, the
drew
mistress.
hat pins
No.
circling each other duel style until police broke it up. So
It's my man, bitch. It's my man.
in my
Your
head,
pins.
I kind of pictured in the Michael Jackson video for Beat It, they
Oh
got in
my
a
God.
circle and they just started shaking toward each other with their hat pins.
You think they were doing the...
No, I don't. I think they were literally trying to kill each other.
Oh my god. Okay, my question is, who was this man? And, was he even worth it, though? Like, come on,
Probably
man.
wasn't. They never are the ones that people be fighting over. For some reason.
Exactly.
So
Circle each other like, bitch, it's my man.
man, and so the issue is that now newspapers have started to be sarcastic about this hat pin issue, but like in a negative way towards the women. So newspapers sarcastically opened, "We look for the new and imported Colt's hat pin or the Smith & Wesson quick action pin," which Colt and Smith & Wesson are both gun and weapon making
Exactly.
companies. So now they're trying to be like real funny because like this is when they start to kind of transition the hat pins from being a fashion accessory for women to trying
murder
to say
weapons.
that they're weapons.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's their fault that they were turned into weapons because
Yeah.
at no point did women think of them as such. They were just like these cute decorative pins that they would put in their hats. But then it's like men get grabby and then all of a sudden you got to use what you got. And then I don't
Exactly.
know which woman was the first one that was like, I got this needle right here. But
Hey, listen, in times when your life is in danger, anything could become a weapon.
yeah.
So, like, these people are bringing it upon themselves. Like,
Yeah.
just leave us alone.
They forced women to start to use their fashion accessory as a dual purpose weapon.
Yeah. It just sucks. It's like, communication. As much as guys don't like to hear that, like, communication is key. If you would just be nice, don't be a jerk, don't be a fucking weirdo, just talk to us. We wouldn't need these fucking pins to shank
Yeah, you
weirdos
wanna get your
with.
face slashed, you know. You
Exactly.
weren't being grabby on the streetcar.
Oh, God.
So, in 1909, the hat pin was considered an international threat.
An international threat?
This is what it said. Police chiefs considered measures to regulate their length.
Sounds like California.
A bill was introduced in Arkansas, limiting the length to 9 inches or requiring women to carry permits for longer ones.
Fuck me. Like, this is not even a gun, it's just the pin.
A hairpin.
A
It's a
hairpin.
hairpin to
Oh
hold
my
your hat in
god.
place. Women had to cut down the pins that they had that were longer than 9 inches.
That sucks.
Yeah, especially since they don't save up all their money and they don't spend this money on these beautiful pins that they have bought for the purpose of wearing in their hat that just happen to also be used to protect them when they're walking on the street by themselves. Because most of these incidents, if not all of them, happened in broad daylight. These weren't at night when women are walking by themselves. These broad daylight with women in 19th century clothing, which is a lot of layers.
Yeah.
And it's still happening.
That's just, it's just crazy to me. Like, I imagine how big these hats are that you need to get this full, like, 9-inch one. Now
Pin
you
to hold
hold it
in place.
down.
Yeah.
Now you have to cut this bitch down to like 7 inches. Is your hat falling off your head?
Well,
Like,
I
that's
mean,
some
it can be a
bullshit.
max 9. It just can't be over 9.
I'm just saying, like, if you needed the 9-inch to hold up this brand new hat you worked so hard with, because also considering back in this day, women didn't work like that. So I'm sure they had to save to get
buy
this
these beautiful
nice
hats
hat.
and pins and things. Yeah.
And now you can't even wear your hat because you can't wear your full 9-inch neat, like,
Yeah,
pin
you
to
might
hold
need a
it up.
12-inch pin to hold up all of this stuff on
Fucking
your head.
50 pounds on your head, you know what I mean?
Now you
God
have to use
damn.
9, which is not going to cut it. So there are some hats that you can no longer wear. Because
Yeah, exactly. Shit.
Man,
Thanks,
so-
guys.
So any woman that was caught in violation was arrested and fined $50, which was a lot
Wow.
of money back in the day.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
$50? Like, I'd still be mad to be fined $50 right now.
You're right.
God damn.
Yeah. In Chicago, they held debate on the hat pin ordinance of, the 9 inches.
Mm-hmm.
The proceedings were packed with men and women arguing.
Of course.
One man said, if women care to wear carrots and roosters, that is a matter for their own concern. But when it comes to wearing swords, they must be stopped.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they've
I
been
don't-
wild now.
I don't remember if they remember back in the day, men were legally able to carry their swords wherever they wanted. There was no regulation. All of a sudden, a bitch just wants to wear a nice hat with a pin.
And it's a sword now.
And it's a sword now.
She can't be out here with this weapon. She can't carry this sword.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so obviously men cheered. And then,
As they do. Hey!
yeah, and women booed.
Boo!
Because what the heck?
Exactly.
And so we have a woman named Nan Davies.
I hope, Nan, come on.
She was a representative for several women's clubs, and she asked permission to address the committee.
Get 'em,
They
Nan.
allowed.
Get 'em.
She says, if the men of Chicago want to take hat pins away from us, let them make the streets safe.
Yes.
No man has the right to tell me how I shall dress and what I shall wear.
Get 'em, Nan. Get 'em.
Despite her efforts, the bill passed.
Oh my god, of course.
There was only like two men that voted against it.
Thanks, you two guys. You guys, I'm sure,
and
are.
then all the rest of them, which was I think it was
charms.
like 68 other guys, were like, regulate these pins.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how quickly they'll go ahead and vote on something like this simple, but then they won't go after the real, actual problem.
Yeah.
Like, we need... That's a different discussion for another day. Oh my goodness.
So
oh my
the issue
goodness.
is-
I'm so mad I can't even speak.
The issue is after this passed, similar laws and bills and ordinances started to pass all over, not just the U.S., but all over the world. Like I even saw in one article, they mentioned that women in Australia, whole bunch of them went to jail because they was like,
shit.
no, we're not following
Hey,
these
Australian
rules.
bitches are tough. Like, fuck.
Like, this is literally happening everywhere. It's from every type of woman it's affecting. So
Yeah.
we have from women who are from, like, poorer families all the way up to, like, you know, nice ladies who are born in families who have money.
Yeah.
It affects all of them, and then they're all upset and they're all not following the rules.
Yeah. Well, it was a stupid rule in the first place.
Yeah. Got another story.
Oh. Story time.
So in 1912, women continue to have to defend themselves, even though, you know, it's been a few years since this ordinance has passed.
Listen, it's 2020 and bitches still gotta defend themselves. Like, has it really changed?
It hasn't. So, on a rainy Tuesday, Elizabeth Foley and a male colleague from work are walking, I'm assuming to make a deposit, because the guy, who they never say what his name is, he had their whole payroll in his pockets. I guess they were on their way to drop it off before going home. So pretty much, it says an armed robber. They didn't say he was armed with.
A hat pin?
Shows up. No, it wasn't a hat pin. He shows up, knocks the guy out, and tries to rob them.
Shit.
Yep.
That's scary.
Yeah, so Elizabeth doesn't even blink. She doesn't even roll her eyes. Takes her hat pin and just starts stabbing for his face.
Wham.
Yeah, so
Shit.
she saves the day.
Yeah, she
with
really
her quick
did.
thinking and her not being afraid, even after she watched her male colleague get beat up, get knocked
Exactly.
upside the head and get knocked out. And she saves all the money.
This bitch is ruthless. Get him.
So these attacks are still happening. It still occurs all the time. And then in this case, it didn't even matter that she had a man with her,
Exactly.
because he ends up getting beat up and knocked out anyway, and they were still going to get robbed. So
And then all those employees would not have gotten paid. Like,
Yeah.
this bitch not only stopped a robber, but she also made sure all the employees got paid. And at the end of the day, I think that was worth it.
Yeah.
Listen, if this guy didn't want to get stabbed in the face, you shouldn't have tried to rob them.
yeah, I mean, he
Moral
must
of
have
the
saw
story.
them leave the bank
Yeah,
and must have figured out, like, they got the money. Get them.
that's some fucked up shit.
So, bam, 1913, the Audubon Society forms to prevent the wholesale and slaughter of native birds for trade. So this affects the hat pin industry, because before that time, all the hat pins were decorated with, like, beautiful feathers and things like that. So now they can no longer kill these beautiful birds.
Yeah, which,
I feel them.
yeah, that's what I was saying. I
them.
feel that. Like, I don't want birds to be killed for my fashion accessory. Like, can they die naturally? And then
Yeah.
we'll just go and pick them up afterwards?
Yeah. So that happens. And then also the next year in 1914, World War I starts.
Oh, wow.
Fashion shifts a little bit. Like, there were, like, gaps. So what I believe is during this time, that's when some women, probably more younger women, start wearing, I think they're called cloche hats, where they're pretty much like those bucket hats that you see women in, like, the 1920s wearing. Also, during this time, the rise of the flappers starts.
Hey.
So women are wearing smaller haircuts. which, you know, with these hat pins, I assume that they needed buns and things
Yeah,
to
some
hold
hair.
the hats on. So, fashion starts to shift a little bit, but women are still wearing hat pins, even though some women
yeah.
are not.
Not only is it like for protection, honestly, but it's also, you know, just, I guess, like women empowerment. Like in that pin, there is like strength in a woman. Like, listen, I don't have to be afraid to be out and about because I got this hairpin.
Yeah, because most of these women, you know, their entire like adulthood, they've had these things as protection, and so it makes sense that most of them would just keep wearing these cool pins. Because I mean, they're cute too, so it's not like
it's not just
they're
all
just holding actual swords like the guys are making it out to be. They're decorative. They're cute. They stick them in their hat. They hold everything up.
Listen, as long as people aren't being fucking weirdos trying to harass them, steal from them, be just shitty ass people, the pin stays in the fucking hat. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Exactly. If you stop being a weirdo, you don't scoot up, touch nobody, put your arm around nobody that you don't know, you ain't gonna get stabbed.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line, but I don't know, they weren't seeing that. It's like that line was invisible. It was written in a different language. I don't know. They didn't understand.
I don't know. It was...
Alright, so 1923, the opening of King Tut's tomb starts an Egyptian craze and new hat pin inspo. So now they're making these cute, elaborate gold Egyptian vibe hat pins.
Oh my
for
god, those
women.
must have been so pretty.
I can only imagine how cute those were.
Same. Oh my god, I have to like hit up Etsy and see if they have any of this vintage stuff.
Well, you're also gonna have to hit up Etsy and find a hat that this pin will fit in, because
Hey, I will.
a snapback is not gonna cut it to wear these pins in.
Hey, listen, there's gonna be some adjustments that are gonna have to be made
To bring the hat pin back.
Exactly.
Need to bring those back.
Exactly.
And then 1942, World War II comes in, and it pretty much pushes women's hats out of style. And then it's so that's the end of the hat pins, because women stopped wearing them because they stopped wearing hats, and then they, you know, because they started to go into factories and things to work.
What year is this?
1942.
Oh, 1942. Damn, that's
So they got another like 20 years out of hat pins after the Egyptian craze, and then no more hat pins. Plus, you know, women started to wear their hair shorter.
Yeah.
We had that whole flapper craze rolled through, and now women are working, so they're probably just wearing their hair shorter in a ponytail. Nothing elaborate going on because they got to go to work now.
Yeah, it must have been hard because, you know, back in the day, flappers used to boogie real good, and it probably was hard to keep that shit in
you
your
can't have
hair.
all of that heavy stuff on your head.
Imagine you're out there dancing, you're waving your hair, and all of a sudden the hat pin like flies out and stabs
The whole hat, everything. Well, from what I was reading, it's pretty much the hats just got bigger and bigger, and then that was another thing that the men were complaining about, because now they can't see over them.
Okay, valid.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
It is what it is. Fashion is fashion. I don't know what to
Listen,
tell them.
if I can't see over your hat, I'm gonna be a little mad because I'm already a short ass bitch. Like, come on.
You'd have to just stand in the front. I don't know why you're in the back in the first place.
Because people would just move the little people around. Like, good.
You're pushy enough to push yourself to the front.
True.
Don't play
True.
like, oh, I couldn't get up there. Yes, you could.
I'm just gonna get my little hat pin out and start poking people in the ass. Pew, pew, pew.
little poke here, little poke there. Like, now you're in front.
Like, make a hole, you guys.
All right, well, that was the end of my history lesson for today.
That was so much fun. I didn't even know any of this stuff.
Yeah,
that was
hat
crazy.
pins, important, especially in like women's history.
Yeah.
Something so small and something so regular, a fashion accessory, was something that helped like liberate women who were now able to walk around by themselves. Because before, just alone with just the dating scene, men used to have to come to your house, and then your parents chaperone. Now you can go out and just meet whoever you want to, but then also you have women who are just going to work and just doing their regular errands by themselves, and then they're also being accosted.
Fuck me, man. So it's like the fucking pepper spray. Is a pepper spray like the hat pins of 2020, 2019, 2000 era?
Maybe. I mean, I need a new one. I have a little hand taser, but it's not enough. I want like a giant taser that looks like a remote control, so when I pull that out of my pocket, it makes somebody back up.
Hey, that's true.
But I've seen a lot of videos on the internet, and most like people who do videos on like self-defense, they lean more towards the pepper spray because it takes longer for them to recover.
Yeah, not only that, but it shoots from a distance. Like for a taser, they have to come pretty close, you know.
Yeah,
And then there's
touch
also
'em.
there's also that accidental, like they could take from you, tase you. Like goddamn.
Well,
that's
mine
it.
they can't because it's like a ring.
Oh.
Yeah, it's over there. I'll show you when we finish. But I would have to actually like punch somebody or I have to physically touch them because it is like a ring.
Yeah, and personally, I like the distance thing.
Yeah.
You know, like if I could just shoot across the area and just run away, you know, that's
To shoot a
pretty much
layer
it.
of pepper spray out in their direction and it still hit them.
exactly. Dang, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yep. So for tonight's what is it? What are the cards again? I forget. what
Oracle
they're called.
cards?
Oracle card. Yeah. What is tonight's oracle card?
All right, you guys, on whatever day of quarantine we're in, let's see what we should be reflecting for the week. Man, you're right, Kim. I should have prepared.
I said put the cards near you. Well, at least this time you need to put the book far away.
Yeah, the book's right there. But let's see. We're probably gonna have to.
Oh. And try to.
Let's try again. Ooh.
There we go. That was a good shuffle. I can't
Thank
shuffle
you.
at all. I can't shuffle at all.
Hey, I couldn't shuffle. I still can't really shuffle in real life.
Hey,
but-
mine wouldn't have even lined up like that at all. So the fact that yours lined up, I applaud you. That is a skill.
Hey, listen, I had to learn it from trying to learn how to, read my tarot cards. But, you just gotta make it work. All right, you guys. Let's see what we have today. Ooh, we have Believe. Strange Encounters. Ooh.
Let's read what that means for us for this week.
All right. Believe. Strange Encounters. Do you know, I always thought unicorns were fabulous monsters too? I never saw one alive before. Well, now that we have seen each other, said the unicorn, if you'll believe in me, I'll believe in you. Is that a bargain?
Believe. So what? We're supposed
Cute.
to believe in ourselves and each other.
Exactly. Believe in yourself, believe in others. Try not to discourage other people because, at the end of the day, we want people to encourage us too. So if you hear people out there trying to do different things, unless it's murder, try not to discourage them. Help them out, even if it's weird, Sometimes we never know. There are other people out there that need to hear that weirdness too because at the end of the day, we're not alone with the stuff we believe in and we're not alone in the stuff we like.
So as we end this episode, did you have any gems of the week? Or you said you watched that movie.
Oh, yeah, I saw. Oh, so there has been a movie that I actually really, really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the name of it. So if I remember, I'll let you know.
We'll have to come back to it or drop it on the Instagram page.
Yeah, drop it on the Instagram page.
The Item 9 podcast Instagram page.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I honestly would really like to have us, because, I don't know, I feel like lately I've been really into the, old shitty movies and stuff. Well, they're not shitty. They're just old movies. They're very different. But I've really been liking them. So,
the time...
I've just been watching stuff from 1980s, 1970s type movies, mostly just horror movies, but they're pretty good.
I was doing that too. Not this week, but a couple months ago I was watching I watched the Grateful Dead. I watched the Sleepaway Camp movies.
I was about to start watching that one last week.
Okay, first of all, you know how I'll be watching all those things talking about movies. So I already knew, because there's a twist ending at the end of the first one. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, because
you're going to be like,
that.
what? Yes, there's a twist ending at the end of the first one, which I had ruined for myself, but it's still good. But then at the same time, okay, let me know when you watch it so that we can talk about it, because it's crazy how people didn't realize that this person was the one that was killing people.
Oh, no
because it's a
way.
slasher movie. And then the other ones were kind of whack. The first one is the best one, and then they kind of went in a different direction for the others. Especially the last one where they try to kind of make fun of it, but it's really dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, 80s horror movies are fun.
Yes.
I am a fan of slasher movies.
Same.
I like, the Jason, the Michael Myers, the Freddy Krueger movies. Those were all fun.
Yeah. Oh, I actually saw this one called Final Exam. That one was pretty good. And then I saw this. Oh, the one you have to watch. You have to watch Strip to Kill.
Strip to Kill.
It's
Is it on like Hulu?
Prime.
Oh, it's on Prime. Okay.
All these movies that I'm watching on Amazon Prime. They are so good.
Yeah, because I think
Well, not all
I
of
think
them,
most
but
of the Sleepaway Camp ones are on Hulu.
Oh, I have Hulu too.
Yeah, because I think that's where I was watching them.
But yeah, look up Strip to Kill on the Prime. Girl, the twist. The twist is so good. And when I saw the twist, I'm like, Kim would love this. Like, it's so good.
All right, I'm
So
gonna
good.
watch that.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If there are any requests you guys would like us to talk about, or anything you guys...
Found interesting on what we've talked about, what we found interesting for the episodes.
please let us know. If my voice is getting on nerves, please let me know too.
I mean, there's not much we can do about it
Sorry.
unless we get like one of those voice modulators from like Scream.
Oh, I know.
But there's nothing we can do about our voices. So don't tell me if you're irritated by mine because, oh well.
Listen, she has a beautiful voice. Leave her alone. All right, you guys. Well, we'll see you on the next episode, and we hope you guys have a great day, great week, and have fun in quarantine. Toodles.
Right, bye.